will do that later, but the games have already gotten started during the ad break, so we are into Mr. R versus sisqui in what I believe is the first game. And a nice little quirk of the full list stage striking, which we run here in most parts of Europe, is that you can start on any stage. So, you know, Yoshi's Story, a stage you normally only see after the first game. We are actually seeing first game of this set.
Exactly, yeah. Going into it, obviously it's still sort of banning procedure as always, but Mr. R, or sisqui, obviously going to Yoshi's Story first of all. Now, of course, this is an interesting stage for a first game. Particularly sort of one that you think is a bit more kind of leaning towards Samus, but certainly Chrom, with a lot of his sort of juggling tools, very, very scary on this particular stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both of these characters are going to work well on this stage. Samus obviously enjoying the tri-plat layout in order to be able to camp underneath platforms, while of course Ramin playing the Chrom character. Pretty much every sortie is at home surrounded by platforms, being able to shark risk-free underneath them.
Yeah, that's exactly what we've seen as well. Kind of sisqui going for those little down Bs, just keeping his distance, putting up a bit of a defensive game plan. And you can see GB as well, he's got that lead right now, so he can just sort of play this nice and slowly. Doesn't need to rush in. It's essentially just going to shark under those platforms, just kind of keep his distance, keep that zoning up.
Yeah, when you see sisqui playing such a slippery game at the moment, just going to try and tack on as much extra credit as he can, and will do so with that down air up B unconventional combo before eating the roll through forward smash.
Yeah, really, really nice stuff there from Mr. R. Just pulling the trigger on that forward smash and already starting to pile up the damage here on sisqui. Suddenly what was looking like a good lead for sisqui is now depleting, running away from him. Mr. R is on fire right now.
Yeah. Oh, and the American air dodge saving him there.
Okay, again, sisqui just using down Bs just to stall in the air a little bit, trying to get outside of Mr. R's juggling here. Again, not really rushing in too much. Gonna get that dash attack though. Starting to be a little bit more on the aggressive here, recognizing that Mr. R is now in full aggressive mode. He wants this Samus dead.
sisqui getting a little bit antsy here, but has managed to recoup it. A risky up B, but as I said earlier, the tri-plat layout is going to make it very difficult to punish that up B to the top platform. Mr. R looking for the killing blow. Little risky, little juke there.
This is starting to get to last hit now. Mr. R off stage, and the forward tilt gonna take away game one.
Very nicely done there by sisqui. Obviously the up tilt covering a slew of options. This big old axe kick coming from the sky will cover ledge jump, will cover regular get-ups, will even cover people waiting on the ledge. The heel does hit the ledge, so you do have to pick an option, and sisqui doing a fantastic job there, just covering it, getting the jump. Very nicely done.
Yeah, recognize, of course, that sort of Mr. R's recovery, kind of Chrom in general obviously struggling to recover sometimes, but as sisqui just recognizing that, going full on the aggressive mode, then just slam the heel down, take away game one in this best of 5. Of course, this is winner's side as well, so this is now all to play for. One of these two will be making it into top 8. The other one going to be falling down into loser's side. Whereas we both know, GP, there are so many sharks down there, so many incredible players from around Europe waiting to earn their spot in top 8 as well.
It is a mess down there. Before we got to winners quarters, you would expect to see the 8 top seeds in those winners quarters. However, there are only 4 of those actually made it to winners quarters. Orion, Emas, Rafflo, and I can't remember who the other one was. But 4 of the top 8 seeds fell early and are now working through losers bracket.
Exactly, so neither of these two going to be wanted to fall down here. Game 2, here we go. So, gone to Battlefield again. So, a very similar layout to Yoshi's Story.
And he's in trouble there. He's actually
ceiling, and as you say, getting into a bit of a tricky sort of position here. Mr. R already on 77% and barely been able to put on any damage to Mr. R here.
Yeah. But Mr. R not going to be too phased by that. He understands his character has the ability to have explosive damage output.
Again, sisqui just going aggressive once again. That charge shot coming out as well, and that has taken away Mr. R's first stock.
Very nicely done there. And now Mr. R is going to give this up air chain to try and get it back, but he is in such a deficit here. And unfortunately, when you've got a deficit against Samus, you and Arf know about it, because she will set up the tent and just take every little extra she can from every interaction.
Exactly, it's kind of what we saw in game 1 as well, where sisqui sort of had that lead and then just sort of recognizing that he just didn't need to approach, he didn't really need to do anything because he can wait for Mr. R to make a mistake. And it's kind of what we're seeing here, where that first stock, sisqui was playing very aggressive, attacking on so much damage very, very quickly, but now it's kind of just playing his own game, just taking it a bit slower.
Very nicely done there. Mr. R gonna get that tech chase. F tilt. Obviously the down tilt for the Chrom and Roy makes a very, very potent tech chasing tool. And he's gonna not level this up in percent, but definitely gonna level it up in stocks.
Okay, Mr. R now just trying to find a single opportunity to get something going here, but sisqi's not gonna let it, just unleashes that charger straight into his face, and that again takes away Mr. R's second stock. And now in a very similar position to what he was saying before, where he's a whole stock down, and sisqi's at a very low percent.
Yeah, and sisqui are gonna take every little hit he can. The up tilt into the forward. That's a lot of damage from a character that is a zoner.
Yeah, sisqi's starting to run a train here. Mr. R not really getting many opportunities to actually get in, but finally finding a few hits there, but it's not enough to really close the gap just yet. He's going to have to find a lot more if he wants to get himself back in. Again, the upbeat out of shield just putting a stop to all of Mr. R's plans there.
And you see a little bit of hesitation coming out from Mr. R. There have been opportunities where he could have punished, but sisqui has done such a good job of making everything they do. Hello, that was a odd counter, but I can assume that was meant to be a wave bounce side B. But not to worry, you know, Mr. R, one of the best in the business and has been for well over a decade. One of the most experienced, probably actually the most experienced competitor in Europe in terms of competing on the big stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, Mr. R is kind of used to being in this sort of position as well, where you're 2 games down, it's all on line for your winner's side dream of top 8. But, as we know, best of 5s, a marathon, they're not a race. You still got, you know, this game, and if you win it, you got more after that. You still got time to get back into it, but it's all on the line now for Mr. R here as we go into this game 3, and we are once again returning to a Yoshi story.
Yeah, we're back here, and now there's a very interesting little way that this stage is going to help Chrom in particular. The slanted ledges means that Chrom's notoriously punishable up B is going to be slightly less of a problem when it comes to snapping the ledge. That charge shot is going to have a much harder time hitting when the edges are sloped away like this.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we're already seeing, you know, very, like, from the word go, Mr. R was immediately on that slope, just down tilting away, because it's so potent, so powerful on the stage that you can just literally poke away at your opponent, you know, wait for him to do something silly, and then just punish him for it.
And the classic Jer from Mr. R is going to take this first look. He's looking like a man refreshed here on this third game.
Exactly, yeah, he is starting to wake up here. He's starting to run the train on sisqui. Meanwhile, not really able to do anything. In with that forward there, just keeping that shield up and then punishing it with the up B, tagging on so much more damage. Mr. R is just not really slowing down. Great spot dodge as well to avoid that grab.
And now you see he's hunting. sisqui not letting him get back for free though.
And sisqui just trying to poke away there. Again, not really risking anything. You know, even while being the stock down as he is, he does not want to make any sort of, you know, risky, choices. But
you can't do that versus Samus. Believe it or not, Samus has the fastest forward smash in the whole game at 10 frames. That is going to be a very potent punish on missed smash attacks.
Oh! Nobody's living still. You know, that's the wide blast zones on Yoshi's Story, saving sisqui there, keeping himself in with that stock. But Mr. R still on the lookout for this stock.
You can't allow Samus to get away with these missed grabs. It is such a laggy option. If you let him get away with it, there are very few things left for you to punish.
Okay, sisqui now starting to get something here. Mr. R's not really been able to touch him in quite a while. That down air to the back air as well. Down to charge shot. sisqui is starting to be a scary force here as he's making up that damage.
Forward throw, get the position. This is a scary spot for Ramen. You've got to try and get down versus this absolute beast. but you're going to challenge parrying the charge shot. It's still probably plus, a very safe move, but challenging the run-in. Oh, he tried it. He wanted that.
Mr. R certainly on the lookout now. He realizes that he's finally in a position where he can take this game, and he wants to take it as quick as possible.
Amazing air dodge. But only 16.7% on the board here. sisqui will take that to the bank and level it up immediately.
Again, sisqui now just slow it down. Actually, both players just sort of, keeping it quite calm. They do not want to risk anything because they know how much is on the line here. sisqui, one game away from being that winner side of top 8. Mr. R needed to make the deficit up, wanted to go to that game 4. Both wanted so much, but it depends who's going to go for it more.
Yeah, that rolling, not getting punished. sisqui getting away with murder there.
And Mr. R as well, again, just trying to shark under those platforms. sisqui using that up BL shield once again, constantly, every time that Mr. R is in the face, just unleashing the up BL shield, and such a potent tool in this matchup, because you want to get Chrom out of your face. You do not want him just to be sort of jabbing away, down tilting. You just don't want him to be there, so you're gonna up BL a shield.
Caught the overextension there from sisqui, but rolls on again and doesn't get punished for it for a second time.
Oh, and that is gonna do it as well. Mr. R on the board, finally.
And fantastic situational awareness there for Mr. R. Obviously, Yoshi's Stories platforms are slightly higher than every other stages. I would be willing to bet that setup, that particular tech trap, would not work on other stages. He would have time to jump away.
Yeah. No, for sure. And Mr. R just recognizing that and then just unleashing that jab into the back air, taking the game finally. So, 2-1 right now. sisqui, Mr. R, still all to play for. But again, this is, as before, still a scary position from Mr. R. You finally put yourself on the board, but you're not out of the woods yet. You still want to take yourself to that game 5. But Mr. R finally showing in that last game that he can do it. That this is not an unstoppable force here.
We go into game number 4. We're going to be seeing the triplats yet again. But there's no stories here, only battling. Fantastic stuff. Right, sisqui immediately leading him with a couple of up Bs here to try and test Mr. Artsy. Are you going to be ready to punish these? Or are you going to try and read him? Or are you going to just take your guaranteed upper?
And again, like immediately, soon as the game started, you already see sisqui just keeping himself a little bit more away. He just wants to zone away because he knows that, he recognized that in the last game that Mr. R was getting in his face a little bit too much. Maybe sisqui was going to face it a little bit too much, but this time, kind of just keep his distance, keeping that shield up. And Mr. R retreating there, hoping to sort of do a similar thing to what he's done in earlier games, where he just retreats back to that center stage, then sort of hoping for a wall reading, get a forward smash. But instead, sisqui not going for it. The jab comes out back air, but not going to take away the stock just yet.
Yep, and again, sisqui is being let off this ledger free. I know Samus is one of the most slippery characters when it comes to keeping them in disadvantage, but you gotta be doing a little bit more there, especially if you want to be winning against potentially the best Samus in the world.
Exactly, yeah, you're gonna have to do something a little bit more here. sisqui getting that grab up. Not going to be able to do too much of it, but does put Chrom off stage, which is a position you never want to be in as a Chrom or Void player. But, of course, as we know with these characters, they have some explosive moves. That forward tilt comes out, take away 60 stock. Now sisqui could be put in a position here where he needs to try and get this off as quickly as possible.
Again, needs to try and secure himself a little bit more extra credit than he's got here. This may be an up throw. No, not yet. Knows it's not going to kill just yet. Amazing air dodge, but this one may do it.
Yeah. Oh no, not going to do it either. No. Mr. R still hanging on here. Dear life, but finally.
Back air out of disadvantage, and it works.
Yeah, sure. sisqui just unleashing that, just, sort of almost just a quick option, maybe just to surprise Mr. R there. But now it's game 4. These two quite even. Mr. R again starting to tack on a bit of damage here, but the up B once again, GP, is just so useful for interrupting that movement that Mr. R has.
It's such a fast move, and it's so ambiguous when coming down as well. It is not, it's not safe by any stretch of the imagination, but it is at the very least difficult to deal with.
Exactly, especially when you're just in their face and then suddenly you're just having to deal with that up B. But Mr. R undeterred right now. Good parry.
Oh,
the biggest
Jesus.
forward smash right now. Not going to take the stock away, but that has left a message.
And so here's the situation. Mr. R bet it all there, but did end up off stage. He has got the stage control back, and sisqi's going to try and work his way back in.
Okay, Mr. R starting to shark underneath those platforms again. Wants to find one opportunity. And
He is
lovely.
3 for 3 on those.
Oh, absolutely amazing from Mr. R. Again, that down tilt into run up to forward tilt. Taylor Stockway. Mr. R is on another level right now.
He's looking very solid, and he's not anywhere near death himself. I say this, he is in an offstage situation.
Yeah, and sisqui going to try and make the best use of it, but Mr. R gets back safely, not turned too much. But sisqui, as always, just keeping up that wall, just having the charge shot loaded up.
But the jump, he's dead.
That's it.
He's dead.
Oh, and the charge shot as well. sisqui, did you need to? Did you need to?
You do not leave it down to chance at this level. Fantastic stuff to sisqui there, but Mr. R does have a 50% on him. Can he make this a game 5 set? Or is sisqui going to level it out?
Okay, trying to get the jab into the grab there, but Mr. R not letting it happen. He knows how close he is to this game 5. 106% right now on sisqui. Mr. R keeps distance, gets the grab forward there, puts him into an offstage position. And the spot dodge as well to avoid that grabs. Mr. R is playing right now.
That said, it's never curtains in this matchup, because if you go off stage as Chrom and Samus has the ability to get you there without a huge amount of difficulty, it could well be curtains.
Okay, sisqui off stage here. Mr. R just keeping calm, keeping himself on stage, but that's a big charge shot, GP, but that's an even bigger back air. Oh my goodness, we're going to a game 5.
We are in our first set on the desk, a game 5 between one of the best players from France and one of the best players from the Netherlands. This is a 108-man tournament, by the way. When they called it Boss Battles, they were not joking.
They weren't kidding. They really were. Like, we've already seen today so many upsets just happening across the board. Matches that you normally expect in, say, top 8, blocks, suddenly happening in, say, winners round 2. It has been absolutely insane to watch, and the ride isn't stopping yet. We're going to a game 5 between these two. This is for winners side, top 8. One of these two is going to get it. One of these two will be going into that losers bracket, who we've already said has got so many of Europe's best players waiting down there. Yeah. You don't want to be down there, GP.
You do not want to drop down there. There are some players down there which are absolute menaces to society when you get them with the momentum. And the thing is, of course, if you when you lose from winner side, you're going into your next set after just losing. And if, in this situation, either of these players could really have the win taken out of themselves, if you get reverse 3-0'd, that is a big thorn in your side. That is like I really nearly had it and I just threw it. But at the same time, you're going the other way. You got to try and, if you've made nearly a reverse 3-0 and then you fall at the last hurdle, that is a real momentum breaker as well.
Exactly, and as so many people have said with Smash, momentum is such a big thing. Going into a set with a correct mindset will literally make or break a set. Yeah. So these two will definitely be one to take it, but Mr. R is, again, just going into another gear right now.
Another up B. That move, by the way, does 25%. It is so much damage, and he's landed a couple of them, and look, you can see how much damage it's done to sisqui.
Exactly, we're barely 40 seconds in, GP. That is nearly triple digits for sisqui right now, but sisqui is not slowing down either. He's starting to go under aggressive here. Lovely use of the downbeats as well, just to cover Mr. R's get-up options.
Oh my god, that's it! No, it's not. Good DI from Mr. R.
Okay, Mr. R keeping himself alive right now, putting sisqui off stage, trying to go first forward as well, but just recognizing that sisqui was safe, so putting himself back on stage himself, does not want to take any risk right now.
But that charge shot, tried, true, and tested. Fantastic stuff there from sisqui. Going to be taking the lead here, and now Mr. R needs to try and take as much of a lead back, or take this stock before sisqui builds up too much of a lead. 40% already on the board here.
Yeah, it's starting to happen in front of our very eyes. sisqui recognizes he's got that lead, playing a bit more slowly. Mr. R needs to take this stock now if he wants to keep himself alive in this game. Going right off stage there, GP, to try and take that stock. That's how much he wants it.
The F tilt not quite going to take it.
Hey.
Oh, what a fast wall jump from sisqui there to challenge with the back air, rising up.
Okay, but finally, no, the back air still, not able to seal the deal here. sisqi's hanging on to this stock, but finally, one more forward tilt is going to do the job. And Mr. R finally even stocks, but it's certainly not even percent right now, and he knows that he's going to need to get a combo going if he wants to keep himself alive.
Oh, that's a bad charge shot to be eaten.
Yeah.
Could have died there. sisqui wasn't ready with the charge shot.
The damage is starting to tack on here. Mr. R not really able to do
Forward.
much. Falls out on the forward as well, keeping himself alive just a little bit longer.
That could be a blessing in disguise, and I think if given the opportunity, Mr. R will 100% take the suicide kill here just to reset stocks. He is in such a bad spot here.
And I love the use of the uppers as well, just to catch sisqui going onto his platform, just trying to catch
he's off stage
every
with that jump.
Mr. R not able to capitalize on the offstage situation yet. And all these upbeats as well just come out, but Mr. R's not able to do much about them because they're just so high up on that top platform that he's not able to get up there in time.
He's dead.
Oh,
He's dead. We
it.
finally see the charge shot that is so potent at covering the up Bs of both Ike and Chrom.
Yeah, so unfortunate, of course, when you've got such a linear recovery.
Ooh.
Okay, Mr. R. Okay.
Oh, he's feeling violent now.
Yeah, he's angry right now, folks. He wants to take the stock where he doesn't want to go down like this. But sisqui is just setting up that wall. He does not want Chrom to get in at all. He does not want to take even the biggest bit of damage. And those downbeats as well, just pushing him to the side, out of the range of that forward smash.
Another forward air. Only 20% on the board here.
Hey, again, sisqui now just playing it a little bit more slowly. You can see him just not really approaching too much. Kind of just sort of, dashing in, shielding, dashing back out, retreating to that safe distance. Because he knows that sort of one jab could potentially just seal deal. One forward tilt certainly will take that stock away. He does not want to risk it.
Oh, he wanted the air dodge again there. But this is a lot of damage.
Oh, okay, sisqui again starting to pile it on right now. The little jab as well, trying to force, Mr. R into that shield.
Dash attack. Very nicely done. I don't think forward tilt would have done it, but the dash attack definitely did. So we're now on the last stock. Obviously, suicide up B is not on the table for Mr. R. It will kill him first.
Yeah, but we are going to have to see Mr. R or sisqui do this the old-fashioned way of taking him out the normal way. So, but Mr. R obviously still getting caught on a lot of these up Bs. It's still such a potent
Oh, that was definitely not an energy he was looking for.
Is not able to make it back, but again, now you've got to get back to center stage. You've got to find a way in, and sisqi's not letting it happen. Shield goes up, but that's looking real small, GP.
Yeah, a big hit will actually break that. You see him looking for these backers. Backer does do a lot of shield damage. Gonna tech roll away. Up B. Not yet.
Okay, Mr. R still living, but the backer gonna seal the deal.
No.
And sisqui popping off.
Fantastic neutralizer there. Obviously, Mr. R's shield for like the entire half minute of that game was a tiny M&M, and sisqui with the incredible awareness to go, your head is exposed. I'm gonna hit you clean in the head. Football